What screams I'm an asshole without saying it? You useless piece of shit. You absolute waste of space and air. You uneducated, ignorant, idiotic dumb swine. You're an absolute embarrassment to humanity and all life as a whole. The magnitude of your failure just now is so indescribably massive that 100 years into the future your name will be used as moniker of evil for heretics. Even if all of humanity put together their collective intelligence, there is no conceivable way they could have thought up a way to fuck up on the unimaginable scale you just did. When Jesus died for our sins, he must not have seen the sacrilegious act we just witnessed you performing, because if he did he would have forsaken humanity long ago so that your birth may have never become reality. After you die, your skeleton will be displayed in a museum after being scientifically researched so that all future generations may learn not to generate your bone structure, because every tiny detail anyone may have in common with you degrades them to a useless piece of trash and a burden to society. No wonder your father questioned whether or not you were truly his son, for you'd have to not be a waste of carbon matter for anyone to love you like a family member. Your birth made it so that mankind is worse off in every way you can possibly imagine. And you have made it so that society can never really recover into a state of organization. Everything has forever fallen into a bewildering chaos, through which unrecognizable core, you can only find misfortune. I would say the apocalypse is upon us, but this is merely the closest word humans have for the sheer scale of horror that is now reality. You have forever condemned everyone you love and know into an eternal state of suffering, worse than any human concept of hell. You are such an unholy being that if you step within a 100-foot radius of a holy place or a place that has ever been deemed important by anyone, your distorted sacrilegious soul will ruin whatever meaning it ever had beyond repair. The only possible way in which your future would be brighter than the black hole your existence currently is would exclusively be because there is absolutely no conceivable way that you would even be able to sink lower than the pathetic place your current failure has put you in. But then again, you are so incredibly abominable that you would probably be able to surpass the worst conceivable failure a living being could possibly make. You are so incredibly pathetic that you are honestly not worth any more of my words nor my time. Just remember that I will forever detest you for your failure and everything you stand for, and no matter what happens, I will never ever forgive you. Vaping, gross, pretentious, and second-hand smoke is dangerous. Also, purposely misplacing things in stores because they're too lazy to put them back in the right place. Just put it back, seriously. Also, those people who open packages, unfold mts, throw open mts on shelf, and purchase unopened one. Really? Who wants to buy a ripped open package, dumbass? Also, saying, that offends me because, ugh, shut up and go away. There are so many asshole behaviors, truly. People who smoke while there's a group of people around. I had one person light their cig on the train and then left with it and everyone was like WTF. Then there's always one person who lights a cig when a group of people are waiting for the bus. There's also at least one person after AFL matches when everyone is in a giant group of people headed for the train station who decides to smoke. Parents who condone dishonest behavior in their kids. I volunteer at a charity shop, where we had a toy racetrack donated that came with one specific car that fit it, so we fastened the two items together to make it clear they weren't available separately. After a busy period when the place had been slammed with customers, I went round tidying up and found the car missing. This would have necessitated unwinding a yard of tightly wrapped tape, which I can't believe the parent didn't notice their child doing at the time. What also pissed me off was that the parent would have seen their child leaving the shop with something they had not paid for and done nothing about it. And yes, responsible parents would bring the child back to return the item. I've seen it happen more than you think. Yes, it may only have been a toy car, but part of being a half-decent parent is to teach your kids that no, it is not okay to just take stuff and not pay for it. People who take their anger out on employees. As a pharmacy tech, it's not my fault that your insurance deductible for this medication went up. Call your insurance if you don't like the price. I'm just the middleman. Well, it wasn't that much last time. I'm not paying that. Get the manager. I need this medicine. Can't you call my insurance? No ma'am, I can't call your insurance. I have 30 other people with similar or no problems than you, who also need their medication, who aren't throwing a tantrum. I don't set the prices, I just ring them up and get them ready. My pharmacist will tell you the same information I just told you. I guess you just need a white coat to make you feel like less of an asshole. BMW ownership. Walking away from a conversation mid-sentence, SHT eating grin. Driving half a mile, 1 kilometer on the shoulder and then merging over just before an exit to beat traffic, coughing on you without covering their mouth, littering. Taking all of something at a potluck. Speaking in absolutist terms with no room for considering other views, possibilities, or nuance. Let's do lunch. I'm gonna need you to come in on Saturday. Do you know who I am? Crushing handshake, interviewing you, offering you a job, promising a salary, just to pick your brain before ghosting you. Oh boy, do I have a fucking list for you, but I will keep it to 5. Not using your indicator when turning. Being a real bitch to underserving servers, retail staff. Making fun of people's interests. Making fun of people's smiles or laughs. Like seriously, how low can you stoop to make fun of the way others express their joy? Bringing your religion into serious stuff, not just talking about politics, but like, for example, a boy I knew from church died last year in a road accident and the pastors told us all God just wanted him back, and when I was 13, one of those same pastors told me after I was said God just had a plan for you, and maybe that involved what this girl did to you in the schoolyard. Trust the process, love. Trust his process. Talking on the phone while checking out at a store. Cashier is trying to be courteous, and people just ignore them totally for a phone conversation. Just wait 1 minute to talk on the phone. Bonus points for speakerphone too. Also, speeding up to run over squirrels or other animals on purpose in a car. I don't understand this way of thinking at all. Sociopath status. One more. Parking in handicapped spots when you aren't handicapped. You're just, in fact, a lazy, inconsiderate asshole who didn't want to walk 5 extra feet. 100% agree. I love loud music, I love the thump of the sub, I love the guitar blasting my earlobes out, and I love the feeling of the windows down going down the road. I don't want your attention, actually the opposite. This is me time. This is no wife asking me to do something, no kids yelling at each other, no boss telling me what to do. It's just me, my car, and loud-ass music. It's a stress reliever and just kind of resets my mood. Not being an asshole, just being free. Edit. Loud in appropriate areas. I have enough mindfulness to keep it at a decent level when driving through neighborhoods, etc. But there are some lights that are out of range, and if you're next to me at it, sorry. I'm just not next to houses, schools, or anything else, so I'll jam it up. As a person who collects carts, some people do it and it's fine. Older folks, the disabled, all make a little sense, especially at some stores where the cart corrals are few and far between. The ones that really grind my gears are the totally abled lazy asses that just leave it and don't give two shits. I personally hate when I see someone walk to their car with one bag in their cart just to leave said cart next to the spot they left. You didn't even need to bring the fucking cart. Okay, I know some people do it to be an ass, and I try really hard not to do it in public, but sometimes I do this. Never did before, but when I got my new phone, for some reason the volume for calls is ridiculously low, even though I turn it as high as it will go. I've messed with all my settings to try to fix it, my fiancé has tried to fix it, and for some unknown reason the only way I can fear people who call me is to put it on speaker. Interpersonal, always talking without let others get a word in, always discussing themselves, or what they think is worth talking about without discussing you or your thoughts. Etiquette, not saying thank you when someone holds open a door for them, eating food in front of a friend, family without asking if they are hungry or want something, never cleaning up messes they make, especially if it's something else's home. Automotive-wise, having those testicle ornaments on a vehicle, one of those window stickers where Calvin is pissing onto something, honking horn when the light only just turned green, or impatiently moving more and more into an intersection when the light is clearly red. Business, taking sole credit of team efforts, constantly taking badly about coworkers, never offering help to those that clearly need it. This one time I visited this beautiful serene place next to a dam at night, and it was ethereal, almost otherworldly the way the sky looked, full of stars, and all I could hear was the quiet waves hitting the shore in the water nearby. 2 minutes in, a bunch of fully grown men drive their car in nearby and blast music at full volume in what is otherwise a pristine, untouched natural space. Shitty, tacky music. Their lack of civic sense and just awareness in general was unbelievable. I'm not one to go all "excuse me, can you please stop" on someone in public, but I kid you not, this made me want to commit mass murder and then kill myself. Never understood this one. Even in the day, I drive the speed limit in the drunk edit right lane to work. I get to work like 15 minutes early, so I'm in no rush and am enjoying an audiobook, but up comes a car going real fast in my slow lane. Then the car starts to tailgate me, then just goes my speed while being way too close. Nobody on the left 2 lanes either. Dude just wants to sit behind my slow ass, like there's a passing lane for a reason, buddy. Use it. It happens far too often to think it's just some random guy who hates passing too. Happens all the time. What in the fuck is wrong with people? Edit. Had that I drove in left lane, but drunk me is not good with directions. I drive most of my commute in the far right lane of a 3-lane highway and people still tailgate me with nobody to the left. Or just imagine Europe. I'm sure the same BS happens. Totally notice a difference in how assholes act around me since changing my car. In a 2-door hatchback, I could be sitting at 95 miles per hour and have someone tailgating me and flashing lights to get out of the way. Now I'm in a much larger Jeep style and I never, extremely rarely, get flashed or tailgated. It's just a classic bully move of intimidating someone smaller than them. They are. I've had people try and run me off the road instead of just merging behind me. They treated their lane ending like a race against the other lane. If there was any positive to 2020, it's that I didn't have to deal with shitty Maryland drivers. I swear this state has the worst drivers in the country. People will ignore stop signs and red lights just because they don't want to wait. They don't understand basic lane functions. And then you get the power-tripping people who act like they're in a race against everyone around them. Driving anywhere in this state is such a chore. When I worked retail, I had a lady try to return an item that we didn't even carry. When I told her we literally couldn't return it, she said, "Do you know who you're talking to? I have an American Express card, young man." I said, "I'm proud of you. That must be an accomplishment for you, but you aren't going to be returning this item here today, ma'am." She said, "Let me speak to a manager." I said, "Okay, sure, let me get them for you." "Hello, I'm a manager." Karen's made for fun experiences. My grandmother worked hospital administration in the 60s, and the Beach Boys walked into the emergency area. After checking them in, they were told to sit down and wait, since there were several people in need of more urgent care that needed immediate attention. They didn't like hearing this. "Well, don't you know who we are?" one of them rudely said. She actually did. "Yes, I know who you are," she replied, "but you'll just have to wait." Grandma was a badass. Some people get screamingly good at that. I knew someone in my circle of friends who turned out to be a toxic drama queen who would always start shit but from enough distance so she could not be directly blamed for anything and play victim as soon as she'd be pointed out. I learned who she really was the hard way. Not even a story involving sex, but shitty end to several friendships just because I had a big mouth and she was very convincing at inventing entire scenes that never happened, blaming me for shit she said, etc. So yeah, people like that are cancer. Edit, typos. One time my boyfriend and I were walking to McDonald's and I had been having a really shitty day. So I was in a really irritable mood. As I get to the edge of the parking lot, I watch this asshole in a big lifted truck drop a coffee cup out his window, literally 5 feet away from a garbage can. I don't know what came over me. I'm usually a very shy and polite person, but I grabbed that coffee cup and just freaking yeeted it into this guy's window and yelled, "Don't f***ing litter." The guy was so shocked and angry, He opened up his door and looked like he was about to murder me, but my boyfriend shot him a death glare that must have been really scary cause he got back in his truck and did his window up. To this day I don't know why the hell I reacted like that, but I will admit it gave me some catharsis and I sort of chuckle whenever I remember it.